Hi, everyone. Welcome again to IV English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
And we kick off July with an article called Let's Go Fly a Kite.
好，我们的中文标题是飞翔吧风筝 By the way, happy birthday, Bruce.
Oh, that's right. It is.
600th birthday.
Should we tell him to go fly a kite?
Maybe.
Oh, you stole my thunder.
Can you explain it at least?
Yeah, Let's Go Fly a Kite. It's an invitation to have someone join you and do something that's fun, flying a kite. But be careful. If someone says, go fly a kite, it means get
away.
out of here.
Go away and leave me alone.
Yeah, 哪边凉快哪边去啊！这个我们首先看到今天我们的英文标题啊 ，Let's go fly a kite， 有一个 Let's 啊，所以就是我们去放风筝吧的意思。可是英文里面呢，作为一个 idiom 啊，这个 go fly a kite 这一句话呢，你用来当命令句的话，意思就是你闪一边去啊，哪边凉快哪边去那种感觉哈，你闪一边好，所以要 go fly a kite 这个，所以意思是不一样。前面有一个 that's 跟没有 that's 意思不一样。
走开，
走开，闪一边 ，yeah.
Okay. I'll read through the article as we always do with our articles first, and then we'll go back and explain and translate each sentence for you. Flying a kite is a common childhood pastime. Even if you haven't done it yourself, you've probably at least seen it. But have you ever stopped and wondered how the fun activity actually works? What is it that keeps that colorful cloth aloft? If your answer to that last question is the wind, you are on the right track. It's much more complicated than that, though. A kite that flutters steadily in the air with little effort from the person holding onto the string is a working example of the basic principles of aerodynamics, or the science of flight. Whether you are talking about a kite, a bird, or an airplane, the science is the same. The upward force that pushes a kite into the air and keeps it there is called lift. This is achieved when the air pressure underneath the kite, or a wing, is higher than the air pressure above it. That difference in pressure is the result of a difference in air speeds. Fast-moving air is lower in pressure, and slow-moving air is higher. The design of a kite is angled so that wind passing underneath it is slowed down, resulting in lift. Of course, you have to remember that the kite, though fairly light, still weighs something, so the force of the lift must be equal to a kite's weight in order for it to fly. Once you have your kite in the air, then thrust, the force that pushes the kite forward, and drag, the force that pushes back against the kite, come into play. If you want to keep the kite steady, then these two forces must also be equal. Now, grab a kite and give it a try.
So flying a kite is a common childhood pastime. A pastime is something you do to pass the time, or something you do for fun.
OK， 所以 pastime 就是消遣或者是娱乐的意思。好，所以第一句说 flying a kite 就是放风筝。好，放风筝那个放在英文里面我们用的动词是 fly。好，所以放风筝呢这件事情啊 is 因为是这件事情动名词片语当主词，所以它动词是单数。所以这是一个怎么样 a common 一个很常见的 childhood 就是儿时的 pastime 就是一个消遣。
Even if you haven't done it yourself, you've probably at least seen it. Now, not everybody has flown a kite, but if you're the kind of person who likes to take a walk in a park on the weekends, in a city park on the weekends, if the weather is pretty good, at least not raining, you may see lots of people flying kites. It's quite common here in Taiwan.
Yeah, Guofu Jinyanguan, they used to have a lot of kite flyers because there's a really good breeze over there. But I guess somebody didn't like it, so they've stopped them from doing it, which makes me sad. I guess it was dangerous or something.
Yeah, probably. 啊，所以这个放风筝呢，台湾还算蛮流行的哈。不过像有一些地方，可能例如台北的国父纪念馆，之前很多人在放风筝啊，但是后来也许是因为安全问题哈，所以那边现在已经禁止放风筝了。不过现在在河堤啊什么，还是偶尔还看得到人家放风筝的。好，所以这个地方讲到说 ，even if 就算 you haven't done it yourself 啊，就算你自己没有做过啊，那 you've probably 你至少可能 you have probably at least 你至少可能怎么样呢 seen it 看过啊，所以就算你自己没做过，至少你应该也看过。
But have you ever stopped and wondered how the fun activity actually works? Have you ever stopped and wondered, like, how does the kite go up?
好，所以这地方讲到说 have you ever 但是你有没有 stopped 停下来 and wondered 就觉得好奇啊，觉得想要想一想怎么回事呢？所以你有没有停下来想过 how 是如何的the fun activity 啊，这个很有趣的一种活动啊。那 fun 在这里呢是当形容词来用，就是 amusing 啊，或者是 entertaining 啊 enjoyable 的意思。所以你有没有停下来想过这个有趣的这个活动啊，在这里指的当然就是放风筝这个活动啊。actually works 它到底是实际上 actually 如何的 works 就是运作operate 或者是 function 的意思。好，especially 尤其当我们用 work 的时候，通常就是指 operate or function properly 或者是 effectively。
What is it that keeps that colorful cloth aloft? This is something you might wonder, hey, I know there's wind, but trees don't fly away and people don't fly away. How come the kites fly away? If you're that kind of person who, you wonder about things, how things work. Kites are made of cloth or paper or plastic, very light materials. They're often very colorful or have interesting shapes. And once the kite is up there, it tends to stay up there. How does all of this work?Yeah,
because getting it up is hard, but keeping it up is all right.
好，因为放风筝大家放过大家就知道，比较难的是放上去啊，你要让它升空比较难。那如果风筝一旦到了天空上的话，只要风继续有在的话，它就会飞得很好。好，所以这个就讲说 what is it that 这到底是什么东西？那个 it 就是后面指后面那个 that 这件到底是什么东西什么是什么呢？就是 that keeps就keeps that colorful cloth aloft aloft 就是 up in the air 或者 up into the air 的意思。那个 colorful 就是那个五彩缤纷的。那风筝可以用 cloth 可以用布来做当然也有塑胶的也有纸的那所以到底是什么东西让那个颜色很漂亮的布在空中飘着呢？那这个地方这个 keep 这种动词的用法各位要记得，这很常见，就是 keep 加一个受词加一个受词补语。所以 keep 它的受词就是 that colorful cloth， 那受词补语就是那个 aloft， 因为它补充那个受词的意思，让这个受词让这块布呈现什么样的状态呢？呈现 aloft 这个状态，所以它是受词补语。
So if your answer to that last question, the last question is what keeps the cloth aloft? If your answer to that question is the wind, you are on the right track. You are understanding how it works, but it's not the complete answer. If you say to somebody, oh, you're on the right track, it's like you're getting there, but you don't have the complete idea.
好，所以如果你 your answer to that last question， 我们刚刚讲的那个最后那个问题，如果你的答案是那答案对于一个问题的答案，介系词用的是 to your answer to。好，所以你对于刚刚我们讲那个问题的答案，如果是 the wind 是风那 you're on the right track。 好 on the right track 就是你走对路了，也就是方向对了那 you're thinking in a way that is likely to result in success 你可能就方向是对的，但就像 Angela 老师刚刚提到，就是你还没有讲到完全正确的答案但是呢你的方向是对的。那这个英文也可以说 on the wrong track 也可以就你方向搞错了，那就是 on the wrong track。 那另外一个要注意的就是 wind 前面有一个定冠词 the， 因为在这里它只是大自然的一个独一无二的东西而且所以这个时候通常会讲 the wind， 就像讲 the sun 一样，会有一个 the 在那边。
The ocean.
Yeah, the ocean, yeah.It's
much more complicated than that, though. So we're on the right track, but that's, as Angela and Wesley just said, that's not the full answer. It's more complicated. The actual explanation for this making a kite go aloft needs more detail.
好，那接下来，因为他只是前面告诉你说 you're on the right track， 好，那在这里呢 it's much more complicated than that， 好，就是再加一句，就是比我们刚刚讲的呢，好，单纯是风啊，那比那个还要更复杂的多，好 ，complicated 就是复杂的意思啊。那 though 放在最后句尾，这表示不过的意思啊，比较弱的不过，好，所以也就是说 you're on the right track，but 啊，这个 it's much more complicated than that， 哈，但是呢，比那样子还要更复杂，实际上的情况还要更复杂。
So here's the explanation. A kite that flutters steadily in the air. To flutter is to vibrate in the air. And to do it steadily means that there's no change in its behavior. And if it does this with little effort from the person holding the string, because it's not that there's no effort, you don't just stand there mindlessly holding the string, you still have to kind of guide it. But the fact that it does hang up there in the sky is a working example, is an example that actually shows you the basic principles of aerodynamics, or the science of flight. Aero is air, and dynamic is how things work in a roundabout way. If something is dynamic, it's the motion or the action of it.
The power behind
the
something.
Power behind it. So the power of flight is what aerodynamics means. And what are the basic principles of these aerodynamics? Well, we're going to explore this in the next few sentences.
好，所以这 aerodynamics 就是空气动力学啊，那它也是一样，这个字比较这个少见一点点啊，所以它马上后面给你解释了 or 也就是的意思啊，空气动力这个 aerodynamics 也就是 the science of flight， 就是飞行的科学。好，那我们再回来看这个句子哈，他说 a kite 就是一个风筝 that flutters 在这里就是飘动的意思啊，那在这里就在空中哈，它就 move 啊 with a light irregular 或者是 trembling motion 啊，一个不规律的啊 trembling 好像在发抖一样的一个动作啊，然后呢，所以风筝在空中飘动，那 steadily 但虽然是飘动，可是它是很稳固的飘动，很稳定的飘动 in the air， 而且是 with little effort 就是不费力的。你看那风筝在空中被风吹着飘在那边的时候，看起来风筝好像没有用什么力量那种感觉啊。然后呢，这个from the person， 因为它是被牵住的，所以它是从这个抓着这个绳子的人的手上啊，这样一端牵到那个风筝啊，所以 from 是有那种来自于啊，或者是跟谁连结的意思。那跟谁呢？连结呢？来自于哪里呢？来自于那个人他是 holding on to the string 啊，他抓住了那个风筝的线啊 ，hold on to 就是抓住的意思。那这样的一个整件事情就是风筝啊，有一个人在底下拉着那个线，那风筝在空中很稳固的在那里飘荡。那这样的一个事情 is a working example of a working example 就是一个实际的例子啊。那这个显示某件事情实际的例子啊，那是什么的？在这里讲它是什么样的实例呢？就是 the basic principles 基本的原理啊 of aerodynamics。所以换句话说，就空气动力学的基本原理啊的一个很好的实际的例子，就是这个飘在空中的风筝。
Whether you are talking about a kite, a bird, or an airplane, the science is the same. What science? The science of flight. So it doesn't matter if we want to know why a kite or a bird or an airplane can fly. The answer to that is the same.
所以无论你谈的是无论我们说的是 whether you are talking about a kite 谈的是风筝 a bird 还是鸟还是 an airplane 还是飞机不管我们讲的什么，反正这些会飞的东西呢 the science is the same 它的科学原理都是一样的the science 在这里指的就特定的这些事情的那个科学原理，所以是 the science is the same 要加那个
The upward force that pushes a kite into the air and keeps it there is called lift. Now, that force could be affected by wind. It could be affected by you throwing the kite up into the air. But there's an upward force that has to push the kite up. And that force is called lift. So what we're doing is giving you a term so that when we keep talking, we use this term, you'll understand it. So the author is doing a smart thing where she's defining the terms first so that we can understand when we use it after.
好，所以 the upward force 就是向上的那股力量。好 ，that pushes a kite into the air， 把那个风筝把它推向空中的那股向上的力量，而且它不止把它推向空中，而且是 keeps it there， 就让风筝保留在空中。那个 it 就是指风筝，所以这股把它推向空中，而且让风筝停留在空中的这股力量呢 ，is called 被称为 lift， 我们把它翻成升力，上升的力量，升力。
This is achieved when the air pressure underneath the kite, or a wing, is higher than the air pressure above it. This is achieved. That means keeping the object, whether it's a kite, a bird, or an airplane, keeping it in the air. If you're going to be successful, the air pressure underneath the kite or wing is higher than the air pressure above it. And if something is pushing you from below, you're going to go up, and that's called lift.
好，那 this is achieved 就是这个升力是怎么达成的，怎么形成的呢？是当 the air pressure 就是这个空气的压力 underneath the kite， 也就是风筝底下的风筝下方的那个空气压力。好，那个 underneath 就是 situated directly below something else， 所以直接在风筝底下的那个空气压力呢，或者是 or a wing， 那这个 wing 就是要么就是风筝，要么就是那个翼，机翼，飞机机翼那个翼面的下方的那个空气压力，也就是说反正就在空中的那个平面，不管是风筝还是飞机的机翼，它下方的那个空气压力呢 is higher than 比什么高呢？比 the air pressure above it， 比它这个翼面或者是风筝上方的空气的压力还要大，这个时候东西当然就可以浮在空中了。
And if we're talking about air, that difference in air pressure is the result of a difference in air speeds. So the fact that the pressure is higher below the wing and it's lower above the wing, the air pressure is a result of the difference in air speeds. And what are we saying? Fast-moving air is lower in pressure. So if air is moving fast, its pressure is low. Slow-moving air is higher. So if air is moving slowly, the air pressure is more. So slow air is more pressure. Fast air is less pressure. That's the key thing here.
OK， 所以这地方讲到说 the difference in pressure 就是压力的差异，这个机翼上方跟机翼下方压力的差异 is the result of 是什么的结果呢？是一个 difference in air speeds。air speeds 就是空气的速度，所以空气的速度的差异造成了这个压力的差异。那怎么样的造成呢？他底下接下来继续讲 fast moving air， 就是这个运动非常快的空气呢 is lower in pressure， 它的压力比较低。to be lower in something 就某个东西在某个方面比较低，所以速度快的空气在压力上是比较低的。然后呢 slow moving air， 那速度比较慢的运动速度比较慢的空气 is higher， 也就是 is higher in pressure 的意思，它的压力比较高。
The design of a kite is angled so that wind passing underneath it is slowed down, resulting in lift. Now, the design of most kites, although they come in all different shapes and sizes and so on, your basic design is what we call a diamond shape. It's two triangles with their bases
attached.
Thank you. One points up, one points down. That shape is suitable for flying kites. It's an angled shape. When the wind passes underneath it, it is slowed down, and as they just mentioned, the slowing down of air, that's the air speed, results in lift, in the pressure pushing up on the kite.
Can I just say, it's not just that the kite is diamond shaped. It's that the string is not attached in the middle. It's attached a little bit above the middle so that when the air blows on it, the tail blows away so that way the kite is on an angle. So when the wind blows toward it, the air that's underneath the kite gets caught under that angle and slows down. And do you remember, slow air means more pressure. So the wind that's going above the kite is going faster, So it's fast air, it's less pressure. And so it's like, a little bit like, I'm going to get in trouble from this from a physicist, but it's a little bit like the kite catches the wind to slow it down, which creates pressure, which creates lift.
好，这个句子讲说 ，the design of a kite， 这个风筝的设计是 is angled， 它是有一个角度的。那 Angel 老师刚刚就讲这个角度怎么形成的。好，这我们风筝那个线并不是这个固定在风筝的正中心啊，而是通常是靠风筝的上方一点。好，所以当风吹过来的时候，就很容易就形成了一个角度，因为你风筝的线不是绑在那个风筝的正中心。好，那形成了一个角度，那这个角度就会形成因为有一个角度，所以风筝从风筝下面通过的空气，它就会受到风筝的阻挡，所以它这个速度会变慢，那速度变慢，它的压力就增加了。好，那风筝这个角度上面那个空气没有受到阻挡，它就可以很快，所以它的压力就比较小一点。好，所以呢，这做一个比喻了哈，也许科学上不能这样讲，但做一个比喻，好像是那个风筝有一个角度，它把那个风抓住了那种感觉。
So if you want to test this out, you can take a piece of A4 paper and hold it, taut so that it's flat, and then blow across the top of it. If you only blow a little bit, it's not going to come up. But if you blow with some force, the paper should fly up, and it's kind of interesting. If an A4 paper is too hard, you could try it with a tissue.
好，所以你如果要试试看这个原理的话呢，各位可以拿一张 A4 的纸你就拿着那个纸呢，然后你在那个纸的上方用力的吹气，那你会发现那个纸还是会飘起来的那如果说这个 A4 的纸太重的话呢，你可以拿一个这个卫生纸那你在纸的上方吹气，用力吹气，你会发现那个纸就飘起来了不是在纸的下方是在纸的上方吹气。
Okay, so of course you have to remember that the kite, although it's fairly light, kites need to be light to fly well, it still weighs something. It still has a weight. It's not weightless. So the force of the lift, how much air pressure is pushing up on the kite, that lift, it has to be at least equal to the kite's weight in order for it to fly. And for it to go up, it needs to be more than the kite's weight because force has to equal force. So the weight of the kite pressing down, you have to have at least that much or more air pressing up.
好，所以我们上一句讲到这个升力怎么形成的就是有一个角度，所以叫 resulting in 就是形成的升力。那当然 you have to remember that 你要记得这个风筝呢虽然是 fairly light， 虽然是相当的轻fairly 就是相当的to some degree but not very 相当的轻，但是 still 它仍然是 weighs something 它仍然是有重量的仍然是有点重量的，所以这个升力的力量 the force of the lift must be equal to 一定要和什么相等呢？一定要和 a kite's weight 看风筝的重量要相等，这样子它才能够飞起来 in order for it to fly.
Once you have your kite in the air, then thrust, and here we give you the meaning of that word, the force that pushes the kite forward, and drag, here is another term, the force that pushes back against the kite, come into play. You won't have these two forces until your kite is in the air and you can work with it and understand it better.
And to come into play means it begins to affect the game, as it were.
就开始发生作用的意思所以你一旦让你的风筝 have your kite in the air， 这个地方 have一样，它的受词是 your kite， 那 in the air 是受词补语它是用实义动词用法，就是一旦让你的风筝成为在空中的这个状态，也就是一旦你的风筝到了空中之后，那么 thrust 在这里我们翻成推力那 thrust 这个字本身就是推的意思，那推力它后面括号告诉你它是 the force that pushes the kite forward， 把风筝往前推的那个叫推力， and drag 就是阻力它本来是拖拉的意思那这里就翻成阻力，那它就是 the force that pushes back against the kite， 就是这个把风筝往后推的这个力量，所以推力跟阻力呢 come into play， 它们就会发生作用。
So if you want to keep the kite steady and not moving around in the air, then these two forces must also be equal. So for things to stay still, forces around them have to be equal.
Yeah, 所以如果你想要 keep 让这个 the kite 让这个风筝保持在什么状态呢？ Steady 保持在很稳定的状态之下的话，那么这两个力量，也就是这个推力跟这个阻力呢 must be equal， 一定要相等。
Now that you know everything about aerodynamics, grab a kite, just get a kite, and give it a try. Go fly a kite.
好，这个grab 它就是抓的意思啊 ，to take or get hold of something quickly 啊，所以那现在呢，你就是抓一个风筝，然后呢 give it a try， 去试试看吧，放风筝。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. We'll be back tomorrow. Lucky